Yeah, I mean, I think it's truly a catastrophic failing on the part of the entire journalist profession because you're right, this is exactly the type of story that they should be all over. And I think, when we got those emails, the discovery emails in the Alabama case with WPATH, and this
Oh,
whole story about how Admiral Rachel Levine was in there pressuring WPATH to get rid of the minimum age requirements and stuff. That's a huge story. That is the Biden administration interfering in the standards of care that are going to be used internationally for an entire field of medicine where children are being chemically castrated, having body parts chopped off, or adolescents having body parts chopped off. It's an enormous story, and who touched it? No one touched it. But I will say that I got my entire brand new career by writing about this issue. So I'm kind of on the flip side of you guys.
yeah, no, that's right. When you broke at with Public and Michael Schellenberger, you broke WPATH. Michael was kind enough to let me look at the files beforehand, and I was able to write a piece in the New York Post. But then that was so. You're so right on this, Mia. To me, WPATH is a story that is a major story that you have the people inside this organization that's being used by, trans
Perfect
and
story.
everywhere else, right? Ideal. But then the bigger part of that becomes that the Assistant Secretary of, Health and Human Services inside the Biden administration themselves transitioned over is interfering in this organization and asking for changes. And by the way, that on its own should be front page news in the New York Times, but not asking for changes to make the guidelines more conservative, not asking for guidelines to say, oh, slow up here. You're a little too fast at WPATH. I'm not quite sure the science has caught up to what you're recommending about Unix and others. Why don't we slow up just a touch and decide? This is the interference to actually say, why don't we take the age restrictions off? Forget about that 15 and 16. Just take them off and let each doctor decide as they do it. And that should be a story that you would think would lead to calls for resignation of Rachel Levine. And I didn't even see Republicans in the government use that to say, I think that, Dr. Levine has overstepped the bounds of what a government official should do.